Every day is a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth. The voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
I remember driving around as a sophomore and a junior in high school listening to your radio program in the morning. I wasn't there when you gave the speech at the Lincoln Memorial, is that right? But I saw it. I remember saw it being simulcasted.
Wow.
And you said some very, I think, prophetic things there.
I know it. I have been looking for the next George Washington. I can't find him. He may be 8 years old, but this is the moment.
And now 18-year-old Charlie Kirk is saying enough is enough.
This is Charlie Kirk reporting from Marquette University. I like ideas. I don't like politicians. I don't like parties. I like principle.
Do not go quietly when truth is on the line.
I mean, democratic socialism, the people's it's socialism, which inherently means the following. It is immoral, it is evil, it is impractical when put in practice.
Do not surrender to the shadows.
But I'm here for the silent majority that is silent no longer, to give them the courage, confidence, and conviction to fight on campuses.
Even when, and especially if, you think the battle can no longer be won.
We're not going to allow the ruling class elites, the radical left, to continue to destroy this country from within. And we are a movement here that is growing by leaps and bounds.
Charlie Kirk lived that mandate.
And I believe that marriage is a beautiful thing. And I believe that having children is a moral good for society.
Biggest blessing.
Oh, without a doubt.
I don't think you know the impact. You say, oh, Glenn, you made an impact on my life. Do you realize the impact you're having on the country? Remember when I did the thing in Washington, D.C. and Restoring Honor?
I do.
And I said, somewhere in this crowd, maybe he's 7, maybe he's 15, somewhere in this crowd is the next George Washington.
And 25 years from now, he will come not to this stair, but to those stairs.
We want to overemphasize grace when in reality Christ loves us too much to have us continue to live in sin. He wants us to try to elevate our actions to glorify God in all that we do.
And he can proclaim, I have a new dream.
I just went to church for the first time in several years.
Today we went to church for the first time in a really long time.
I've never ever opened a Bible before, and something was calling me to my husband's Bible.
Here's the line for the second service, and there's never a line.
Jesus of Nazareth, and the resurrection is the pinpoint of my belief that Jesus did rise from the grave so that we may live.
The light is dimming, yes, but it always does before the dawn.
Hello, my name is Glenn Beck, and I am a friend of Charlie Kirk's. You may not know who I am, but one thing I am known for is my emotions, and I think we're going to need a tarp today. I knew this was going to be difficult. But to sit in the studio right next to his chair is more difficult than I imagined. I want to talk to you a little bit about the future, but I want to talk to you a little bit about my friend as well. I knew Charlie when he was young. I first met him, I think he was 17 years old. He was amazing. He was so well read, so smart, so clear. I thought, this is an amazing man. I remember the first time I met Ben Shapiro, I think he was 13 years old. I interviewed him the first time. He was sitting on his family's washing machine doing an interview with me. And he said he was on a phone that used to have, it was a hard line, so it had the phone wire that he had to pull it all the way around, and he couldn't keep his sister quiet. So he went in and closed it on the phone wire and sat on the washing machine. Stop it. I'm going to be on the Glenn Beck Show. And he was impressive. But there was something special about Charlie Kirk. I want to share a story. That I've never shared before, and I so regret that we ran out of time. It's a story that I had hoped to tell Charlie myself in the next couple of months. When I first met Charlie, and this is the kind of guy he was so gracious. I first met him, he was young. And I said, so what do you want to do? What is it you want? What do you want to do? So gracious, he said, I want to be you. I want to do what you do. Let me translate. I want to be Rush Limbaugh. He didn't want to be me. He wanted to be Rush Limbaugh. He wanted to be one of the, as Rush said, radio's greatest of all time. And I remember thinking, well, kid, maybe someday, because I think you have it. I brought something with me today that I thought was appropriate while I did the show, that I would sit in front of Charlie's microphone. It was given to me after the death of Rush Limbaugh by his wife. It is Rush's golden microphone. I think it's appropriate that it sits in front of Charlie's microphone. What I would have said to Charlie was, you were thinking too small. I want to be Rush Limbaugh someday. I'm a broadcaster. Rush was a broadcaster. But Charlie was a broadcaster and a narrowcaster. Charlie was a pastor and a priest, and listening to the way he could argue and think differently, he was a rabbi as well, and one of the best. He was a political organizer. He was a political think tank himself. He was a compassionate friend. He surpassed Rush Limbaugh by miles. We'll continue in a minute.
We must stop calling Charlie anything other than a